What the heck is up, you guys? It's your boy Ace, aka Animated Heroes, here back with another action figure review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the SH Figuarts Tekken 8 Kazuya Mishima, or the father of Jin Kazama, the second release in the Tekken 8 SH Figuarts line. So let's go ahead and get right into it, starting off with the sexy packaging. Now for the box, it's okay. I don't really like the colors. White, I'm not a fan of, and then I'm definitely not a fan of purple. But as you can see, we got the window where you can see the figure inside, looking really good, very realistic looking. We've got an image right here on the side of him kind of posed up. It does say Tamashii Nation's Bandai Namco at the top. We've got him in a fighting pose right here. Nothing much going on top. Nothing much really going on the bottom. He's in the same fighting poses on the front. Right here, we've got an actual image from the game. I've always wondered what this red eye is. Like, does it do anything? I know there's a devil Kazuya. Does that tie into anything at all? You guys can tell me in the comments. And then, of course, on the back, we've got some poses we can get the figure into. This one coming from the game, the rest coming from the figure, but they are in-game poses, so I really love how they captured that. And then on the bottom, we've got a bunch of stuff I cannot read because I imported this figure. Now, if you want to know where I got it from, I picked this guy up from Ami. If you want to keep up with how I get my figures, check out my action figure haul videos that I do drop at the beginning of every month. Now, straight out of the packaging, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, if you saw my Jin review, then you'll probably remember me saying that there was a whole lot going on with that figure. Now, that being said, this figure is the exact same except for on steroids. There is a lot going on with this figure, yo. Like, it's kind of all over the place, and I can't fault it because it is the video game's design. But as I said with my other review, it's not the design that I prefer when it comes to these characters, man, because I just remember playing Tekken growing up, and I remember it being a fighting game. Yo, these dudes look like mob bosses in the costumes that they're wearing. And I'm not going to say they're not. I mean, I don't really know or follow the lore of Tekken, but this dude looks like he just kind of sits back and tells other people what to do while they bring him, I don't know, food to eat while he sits on a throne. Like, that's just literally what this figure gives me. And I mean, I'm not gonna say that's a bad thing because it definitely looks cool, but it's not what I'm used to, man. It's definitely not what I'm used to. But let me stop that. I don't want to fault the figure or talk bad about it because it is a damn good looking figure. And if we're talking realistically speaking, it's some of Tamashii Nation's best work when it comes to how this figure looks, man. Just about everything on this figure is really clean, and I'm gonna break that down for you right now as we take a closer look at this guy so we can examine some of the details. Now, taking a closer look at this guy, I'll be honest, man, this figure does look very clean. I really like the head sculpt. It looks very, very nice. The hair is a bit on the plain side. As you can see, it's sculpted to be realistic. You've got all of the little details in there. You can see the line work for the hair, but it looks a little bit weird, but it's accurate. So I'm not going to complain about that. When it comes to the head sculpt, you can see he's got these sharp eyebrows, the serious look. It still kind of looks like he has that same eyeliner like Jin has, but I don't think it's as bad as Jin. I wish they would have kind of muted it a little bit more. He's got the scars on the face that you can see. Those are very clean. He's got the sculpted wrinkles on the forehead, or maybe it's just 3D printing. I'm not entirely sure, but it does look very clean, man. Everything on this guy looks really clean. And speaking of clean, the jacket and all the rest of the details, which I'm going to cover in just a second. One issue I do want to point out that I have with this figure is if you're looking at it straightforward, like you see it on camera now, it does look like he doesn't have a neck when you're looking at the figure from the front. Now, if you turn it to the side, you can kind of see the neck there, but from the front, it really looks like he doesn't have one. Now, looked at the video game art, and this is exactly how it looks. So I think to have avoided this awkward front look, they should have sculpted the collar to sit up a little bit higher and made the neck longer. Then it would have made it look a little bit better. But of course, it could just be an illusion to the eye because of the fact that he's got this big overcoat that he's wearing that we're about to talk about right now, because this thing is just insane when it comes to details. My guy is really wearing snakeskin out here, and I don't know where he's going, but clearly it's very cold there because he's got this big overcoat on top of a suit. And man, it just looks so crazy. But I want to take a moment to appreciate everything that is going on here, because it's really rare that we get to see Tamashii Nations do stuff like this, man. Like, all of this detail here that's in the jacket is crazy good, yo. I really dig this a whole lot, and I love the fact that it's on hinge joints because you can pose the jacket blowing outward, so that's cool. But yeah, man, it's just a lot going on. Like, it's really cool. Then you've got the gloves, as you guys can see, the signature gloves for these guys. I would not want to get hit with one of these. The more I look at these, I'm like, wait a minute, these probably feel like getting hit with brass knuckles. It's crazy. But yeah, he's got the suit underneath, suit looking really, really good, man. Very soft sculpt on it, not a whole lot of detail, especially in comparison to the outer jacket, but it's fine. It still does look really good on him. I love that you can see kind of the vest sticking out. Then you've got the tie, the pants, the thick thighs under the pants, letting you know that this guy is bulky. Like, this guy is built and will throw hands, so that's cool. And then all the way down to the dress shoes, he just looks really good, man. These are some clean figures, especially with all of the detail that Tamashii Nations is having to put into these. I want to give them kudos for that, man. Even though I keep saying these aren't the exact outfits I prefer, I can't deny that they're good looking figures. And when it comes to the height on this figure, to the top of his head, to the top of his hair, he's right at about 6.5 inches. To the top of his forehead, he's a little bit over 5.5. So he does feel a little tall. Maybe it's because there's just so much going on here. But we'll see how he stacks up to other SH Figuarts once we get to the size comparisons. Now, when it comes to articulation, he only looks up about that much just because the head is going to touch the back of that collar, which I don't think it's too bad. That's fine. He doesn't really look down at all because there's not much of a neck. Very, very little tilt. But I mean, it works. You can still get him to be really expressive, so that's kind of cool. I still dig that a lot. When it comes to the arms, they do go up and out about that much, so that's fine. Punching out poses won't be a problem at all. He does have a swivel at the shoulder. Now, when it comes to the shoulder joints or butterfly joints, they only come in about that much because he does have a bit of a wide chest, and it makes sense because he's already swollen. Then he's got all of these clothes over it. So, I mean, this absolutely makes sense. There's really no way they could have done anything different about this unless they narrowed up the chest, and then I would not like the aesthetics of it. So I'm perfectly fine with how they handled this. That's cool. Now, at the elbow, he bends in about that much. So that range is definitely acceptable for me. Hands are on a ball peg, pretty big ball peg, so that's cool. You are going to get some limitation because of the sleeve, but for the most part, you're going to be able to pose them how you want, so that's not much of a complaint. And I did just hit the camera. Now, when it comes to the diaphragm joint right here, as you guys can see, this doesn't move. That's actually really good. That's a whole lot more than I was expecting, so that's cool. He crunches forward about that much, so that's good. Leans back very well, tilt, turn, all of that, but you do kind of have to be careful because that jacket does separate a little bit when you're posing him, so yeah, be wary of that. He does turn at the waist. Whole lot of mobility in there, so that is very, very cool, man. Leaning forward and back, everything's really good. When it comes to the legs, he kicks all the way up, not bad. Kicks all the way back. He does the splits very freaking well. He does have a thigh swivel, double jointed knees that are very effective. Now, when it comes to the boot, this is where you get a little bit of limitation. Now, I said boot, but I meant dress shoes. They don't really, actually, I lied. You can tuck them under the pant leg, and then it goes down all the way. Now, you're going to get a little bit of gapping in there, but hey, it does work. Now, going up, let's see if you can do the same. Yep, you can tilt it back, and then it does go up, so that's cool. Ankle rocker, really damn good, yo. Really damn good, yo. Really damn good, yo. He can break his ankle. And then he does have a toe hinge. So articulation-wise, this figure, despite everything that's going on here, you can pretty much get to pose however you want to. I just wish he had a little bit more of a neck, but everything else is really damn good. Now, when it comes to accessories, this is where it kind of gets a little bit disappointing, but I'm not going to fault them too much. I think the reason they didn't include too many accessories with this guy is because a lot of the budget had to go into sculpting. I honestly believe probably about 60, maybe even 70% of the budgeting went to the sculpt work on this figure. So that's why I think they're not including them. And then, of course, these are molds that can never be reused unless we get them again as some kind of exclusive. But anyway, he does come with a neutral head sculpt and a pair of fist hands right out of the packaging. He does also come with this kind of yelling face. Well, not really yelling, just I guess more attacking. He still has a very neutral look on his face. Still, this one doesn't have the cleanest of paintwork, especially around the lips, but I mean, it's okay. You do know what's going on here. Now, this other head sculpt right here, this right here is terrible. Like this is terrible because it's supposed to be him looking to the side, I'm assuming, but one eye looks like he's looking forward and the other one is like he's looking to the side. So hopefully this is just mine. What happened here, Tamashii? Like, what happened here? This is bad, yo. This is just really, really, really bad. Hopefully this is just mine and you guys don't have this issue, but like, this is freaking terrible, man. I don't know how they did this. Anyway, I'll never use that. He does come with these kind of like martial arts gripping hands, which I do really like these. These are sculpted very nicely. Then he does come with a pair of reaching grabbing hands, which these are also cool. Then he does come with this extra hand for cupping his fist, and that's all you get. I really wish they would have thrown in some kind of effect piece, because there's all kinds of impact effects that you see in Tekken, and it would just have been a great idea. But again, most of the budget probably went to the sculpt work on this guy, so I'm not going to fault them for that. I am, however, going to fault them for this, because this is just unacceptable, yo. For an $80 figure, this is unacceptable. Tamashii Nations, do better. Gotta do better. This is not it. Moving on to size comparisons, here he is standing next to the SH Figuarts Bleach 1000 Year Blood War Toshiro Hitsugaya, which I did just review. Go check that out. We also have him standing next to the SH Figuarts Jin Kazama, which I also reviewed. Go check that out. And then last but not least, we have him standing next to one of the best figures I have received this year, the SH Figuarts Tanjiro Kamado from Demon Slayer. Also reviewed it. Go check it out. Next up, for some Figmas, here he is standing next to the Figma Jujutsu Kaisen Greatness Satoru freaking Gojo. We also have him standing next to the #1 hero, the Figma Boku no Hero Academia or My Hero Academia Deku. And then we also have him standing next to the Jujutsu Kaisen Greatness Okotsu Yuta. And then just in case you want to get your Tekken versus Street Fighter on, here he is standing next to the SH Figuarts Street Fighter Ryu. We also have him standing next to a Jada Toy Street Fighter Fei Long, and then a Marvel Legends Amazing Fantasy Spider-Man. Now, when it comes to my final thoughts on this figure, the one thing I do want to say that I truly enjoy about it is, despite the fact that it has a very crazy design that was probably difficult to compose into action figure form, this figure can still get down with the get down, yo. Like, I was posing this guy around and having a lot of fun with it, man. And even though I don't prefer this costume in figure form, I will say that it is a very cool addition to my collection. I'm going to continue to support this line just to see where it goes. I know we're supposed to be getting Nina next. Now, I don't know if we're going to get anything past that, but I really would love to see them make more characters. Definitely want to get my hands on Asuka. I would love to get Lily as well. And then other characters that, who knows, at this point they could surprise me. There is a few that I would pass on. I definitely wouldn't get Yoshimitsu or anything like that. Actually, I probably would get Yoshimitsu. That one would be really dope now that I think about it, depending on what his Tekken 8 design looks like. I don't know what his costume looks like, but yeah, man, this is a very fun figure. And I said the same thing about Jin, but now I enjoy Jin more having this guy in my collection. And so now that this guy is released and people are starting to get their hands on him, I can't wait to see if Tamashii Nations gives us a little bit more news on this. I really hope we get at least like 6 or 7 figures from this line so that we have enough to pose them up and have a really cool display. I highly doubt that they're going to give us a bunch of figures. Like, I don't see them hitting more than 10. If they do that, then it's nuts. But I don't think people are really buying these like that. I haven't heard too many people talking about them, but of course time will tell. Now, if you're wondering, do I recommend this figure? Hell yeah. If you're a fan of Tekken, hell yes, I recommend it for sure. And I always say, man, if you support a line, it shows companies that we want these and they are more prone to giving us more figures. And so hopefully if this line makes it far enough, we will get those costumes that we all love and want. So we'll just have to see. But overall, I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. If so, don't forget to give it a thumbs up because that always helps me out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Make sure to hit that bell icon so that you're notified whenever I upload new content. And last but not least, follow me on everything you see listed in the description below to keep up with my activity outside of YouTube. Hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Stay safe wherever you are, and bye.